Right, I'm here with my boy Turkish. We just witnessed Arsenal's first game of the current Champions League campaign, a 0-0 draw away to Atalanta. I would say a decent result. We kept a clean sheet, but the performance, not so. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the draw, I think, away from home against a good side, I think one of our more difficult fixtures. I'm all right with that. I'm okay. I just expected a bit more, um, which we'll get into. But overall, I think an away draw coupled up with an away win at Tottenham to start the week, or essentially start this three-game period where we all looked at it last week after Odegaard's injury and said, we're very light on top of Marino, on top of Calafiori. We've so far done, in my opinion, very well. We've got 3 points out of Tottenham. We've got a point today. We keep it moving into the PSG game in a couple of weeks. It's about Sunday next, and that's where my concerns come in. And I was hoping to see a bit more today from some players to have a bit more belief that maybe we can have a bit more of a go at Etihad. Like what I saw today is that we can go and do what we done last season there, because this season, we've relied heavily upon our defence so far. Raya's probably been man of the match for the majority of the game so far this season.
I would say he was definitely man and match for us today.
Yeah, well, vital moment. And as a keeper, those moments can decide the games one way or another. And I think Raya throughout the season, he's been our player of the season so far. And today, again, if not for that penalty first save, but the follow-up again, which he's becoming, somewhat good at, people will say the striker should have finished it, probably should have, but they said the same about Watkins. The keeper has to show good reflexes. So very good from Raya yet again. And very impressed with him. Put that whole Ramsdale saga behind him now. We all have, and I think we're over the moon so far with Raya's progress, especially this season. Defensively, again, Atalanta are a good side. Did they pose as much threat as I thought they might? No. I think defensively, again, we pretty much nullified them. They had their moments, but generally, I didn't feel that Atalanta were much of a threat to our goal. And I thought, defensively, yet again, it's another assured performance, another mature performance. It's just from midfield to attack that. Someone mentioned it to me off camera. Similar to last season, I used to mention fluidity and transition quite a lot early on in the season. And then at some point it clicked. And then for the rest of this, it started in this calendar year. It just feels like a little bit of that again, and conviction. I think that if the setup now is for us to be a lot more defensive and be a lot more resilient, and that's the method we're going for now, then I think it further emphasizes the need for someone clinical up top. Today we had one big chance, Martinelli, and he's not clinical at the best of times, let alone in his worst patch at Arsenal so far.
Somebody just told me off camera that it's 16 games since he scored for Arsenal, which is quite concerning, really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, end of 22-23 season, I put him as the player of the season for Arsenal. I said when the going got tough at the end of the season, he was one of few to stand up, if not the only one in the attack. Let's not forget, I think in the last 13 games that season, he scored 8 goals. So I gave him player of the season. Since then, it hasn't gone well for him. He didn't kick on last season, and this season so far, he's been given his chances. He started 4 out of the 5 games so far this season. He hasn't been about it. Well, for one reason or another, I think he should have scored against Tottenham, and he had an easier chance today, and he didn't. His name hasn't been on the score sheet all week.
Would you start him against City?
No, I don't think you can. But you know what it is, Laurie? This is where the problem lies. I predicted we'd beat Tottenham, but I was very negative and pessimistic last week.
It's not like you to be negative, surely.
Yeah, surely. But I mean, I still predicted a win against Tottenham. Today, earlier in the week, I thought we'd lose the game because we would rotate a bit against Atalanta. Today, when you asked me before the game, I said, we've gone strong, but I still predicted a draw, right? But we went strong. I predicted a draw, so cool. It's just that moving forward, I feel like, should Martinelli start on Sunday? No. But should Sterling start? I mean, in his brief cameos, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, very poor. But I'm not judging him just off that. I'm just saying that Trossard, he started in the 3rd game of the season because he deserved it off the bench. He didn't perform. He started in the 10 against Tottenham. Good, not great. So, again, I look back at the transfer window and think, what if we added that one player that we know is coming in to start to compete, to push man out, to offer competition and elevate the elevator Martinelli and so on. Here's hoping that Sterling is still the guy. But now I go back to your question to start this mini segment. Should Martinelli start? I said no, but I have to take that back and say I don't know. I don't know who should start. Does Sterling deserve to start such a big game? Not for Arsenal. Does Martinelli deserve it on his form? No. And does Tross? No.
So, okay, then, so you've highlighted what you would appear to be saying is, at the moment anyways, I wouldn't say a weakness, but for whatever reason, it's not quite happening up top. The defence and the goalkeeper, they've been outstanding. No one can say anything other than that. However, going forward through the pitch, playing through the lines, we've not looked at our best. Is there any particular reason for that? I mean, obviously with Odegaard not being there, he's definitely been missed because he is the pivotal point for a lot of our attacks and the pressing as well. So him not being there is obviously a loss. But is there any other thing you could put your finger on as to why?
I think our setup is more to the defensive side first and foremost before any other Odegaard comes into play. I think we are set up to be defensively resolute first and foremost, which is fine, especially if it brings results. But these results have to bring trophies at the end of it, because at times it's not easy to watch. But that's fine if it brings success. I don't care, but it must bring that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it does feel like we are more on the defensive side of things anyway. It's just that like 22, 23, especially the first 6 months, Jesus, we hit the ground running, the attacks free flowing. Last season, the first 4 months, something's tweaked. Havertz comes in, something's tweaked. It doesn't really go as well as it did 12 months before that, but we click and then we fix that. This season again, I just feared that it's the lack of bringing someone in now because we've left ourselves very light. Very light to the point that the number 10 we left ourselves with behind Odegaard hasn't started in the 2 games since Odegaard's been injured. Now, I'm not saying Ranieri should have started Tottenham or he should have started today. What I'm saying is he's 17. That's why. That's fine. But we've left ourselves in that situation. So now Odegaard's got ligament damage and he's out for a couple of months at least, at best, fingers crossed. We've got to make do. I fear for that because I think we can get a point at the Etihad. I really do. If we lose it, we're 5 points behind. But I think we can get a point. So let me, let it come. I'm excited. I'm nervous about it. We'll see what happens. We'll talk Monday about that. But even moving forward after that, we are light in multiple departments. We've just lost Odegaard. We're light there. We've already lost Marino. That means the only midfield addition we brought in, we're already light. Partey started the season okay, but he looks leggy. Jorginho the same. Because these men are older. We cannot rely on them. Saka, we're light there. I mean, we are pretty much light in the majority of attacking areas, and that's kind of and by light I mean option wise. We've got cute players like Trossard can come on, few nice passes. Jesus, few nice passes. A turn here maybe. Havertz. No one clinical. There's no one that can come on and we change the way we play or we do something different.
So are you saying go with the same team then for Sunday against City?
Am I saying go with the same team? Jesus, you're putting me on the spot here because this requires some thought, if I'm honest with you. I mean, Havertz has to go back up top, even though in the first half I think Havertz was the best of the 4 in attack. But I think he should go back up top. Who drops into 10 then? I don't know. Sorry, no comment. I have to think about that. I honestly can't tell you now because okay, do I say Ranieri? That's mad. Etihad. Nah. I can't be that foolish. But Havertz needs to start up top to offer any threat to us, any outlet, because Jesus today was very poor. So yeah, I can't answer that question fully right now. But whoever starts, don't expect anything different to what we saw at the Etihad last year. And yeah, we got out of that one. Let's hope and pray we get out of the next one.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Turkish.